quite good for the Spirit target. In Arena, it's a hero that I like to play versus Mars as well.
Yeah, it's great. Like the arena itself, when you're pinned to the wall, it does a lot of the damage when you're talking about that combo. So even anything that can get you away from the wall is really nice. Even like Cookie is great in that situation. But yeah, long drawn out team fights. I mean, Nigma, they said, combo first, you know, we're gonna burst you, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna go Wraith King, and they're like, oh, you wanna play long fights? Oh, we can play long fights if you want.
Does Void Spirit fit in the long fights? Because Void Spirit, we now know that the Lina is indeed going to be a 4 and that Yue will play the Void Spirit. Does it fit?
I look at this Void Spirit and I say, I think XctN says, we need somebody to kill this backline. Like, look at the Ancient Apparition, Winter Wyvern, right? I mean, Effie, if you're the Void Spirit player in here, like if you play into this match, like you're gonna have a lot of fun with this game, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like you love to play Void Spirit versus these squishy backline supports. You like to cause chaos in these long team fights, but also I like Void Spirit because he can play a more team fight, help the team oriented kind of role when he has a hero like Wraith King, who needs a bit of a slower game before he can come online. So I think this was a really, really, really nice pick coming out of XctN.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think there's going to be a lot of the burden of this game resting on Yahweh's shoulders. Meanwhile, Nigma, it feels like in some ways inevitability between the way they can kite out the Wraith King and then the power of late game Spectre that they will eventually win this. So it does put a lot of pressure on XctN. But honestly, they have impressed me with so much of their mid-game team fight. I just still see a bit of weakness when it comes to their point from laning phase into the mid game. Like I want to see them really be dominant because it's so important to take control of this game.
Also, something interesting for me to note is that Nigma yesterday, while they played very well mid game, they had difficulties like closing out these late game. Versus these late game lineups like that Doom Void, etc. So this Spectre pick could be the thing that helps push them forward or like helps them get past that point. So I guess we're in for a good game.
It's a natural game win.
It's a fun game. That's what it sounds like for sure. We have got game 1 of Team Nigma versus XctN coming your way right now with our commentary duo of Gareth and Lacoste.
Thank you, Shiva. Yeah, I think it's a great point Effie makes there. We saw Nigma struggle a little bit after, 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. The comfort heroes there, the Mars, AA, Invoker, lots of team fight. But that Spectre, I think that transition towards late game is going to be something very important for Nigma, where this XctN draft has that empower to really keep things going for them.
Mind Control will need to do a lot of heavy lifting this game. If the laning stage doesn't go too well for Nigma, you have Ancient Apparition position 5, you have Winter Wyvern position 4. These heroes are really not good at rotating, and they're more like counter-reactive, even though you have a global presence coming out of the Ancient Apparition. Two of these heroes, very squishy, very burstable. One of the reasons why they decided to go with the Void Spirit, Yahweh Void Spirit, something that we discussed in one of the interviews, like why is this hero not good anymore? Why is he not being picked? It's one of his favorite heroes, and like compare him to, let's say, Ember Spirit. He's like, a Void Spirit is just a faster Ember Spirit. Yeah. He comes online faster, and that's exactly what they need here. They need someone to go in and create space. Mag on the offlane could also be a bit slow. I want to see what the skill build's going to be on a Mag this game. He also gives 2 of the cores actually a lot of farm tools where you get Empower on Wraith King.
That's steroid ability.
Yeah, that's steroid ability pretty much that they need to match up the farm with the Spectre. Just overall, a lot of team fight. The one good thing is they have something to split the fight with, and that's Wyvern ulti.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely keep our eyes on that. I think the panel also mentioning against the Magnus in particular, stop the RP combos from coming in, and maybe even scout them out in the trees when they are looking for those openings. An XctN on this Radiant side. Azabaddon going to try and snipe out one of those bounty runes. He is all alone. No contest from Nigma there, so the 2 for 2 should be spread very evenly across the 2 teams. And there's the Miracle Invoker. So we've seen him go for that Quas Wex build, like foreign Quas, and I think it was like 5 or 6 Wex, and then back into Exort. He went Spirit Vessel into Hand of Midas, so he can transfer his early game tempo into a bit more mid-game focus.
My problem with Invoker was, at least from the games that I've seen in other regions, like what do you build on a hero? Yeah. I've seen Hand of Midas, Boots of Travel, Witchblade. It's a lot of gold, Hand of Midas, Boots of Travel does not get more greedy than that. It's just 4K gold down the drain, 0 team fight, more like preparing for the late game. Let's focus on the lane. Nico on the top lane, definitely a player that stands out in the Southeast Asia region. He improved quite a lot. I remember his Doom performance in Tiebreakers. He just popped off. He's definitely the player to look out for. Has everything. I think this player actually does not have any weaknesses.
Oh, wow. Well, that's definitely a bold statement there. I mean, he's got a great laning setup here as well. You know, Shockwave, Skewer, Light Strike Array, tons of ways to catch out the Ancient Apparition. I think that's why Kuro, for now, not really showing in lane and immediately going for that single pull from his small camp, leaving RTW to tank through the initial onslaught, try and gather up some last hits under his tier 1 tower. But then you're going to see the pretty immediate drag back with that Skewer. RTW body blocked. And BDZ Lina trying to close the gap back onto him. Maybe can cut through the trees here, but yeah, they're going to have to let him escape for now because of that pull.
Yeah. To go back to Nico talk, there was an interesting post on Reddit about one of his friends who posted it, that back in 2014, they were both stuck at 4K.
Oh, wow.
You know, they were both stuck at the 4K, and he kept improving.
Now he's a major player.
5K in 2015, and then he just popped off. I believe he was like 7K 2017, you know, and then...
Did he say if he had any coaching, or...?
No, he just, you know...
Self-taught.
He said that one day he's going to play professionally. So for all the people out there in the chat, if you want to pursue the dream, this is, I think, Nico's story pretty much confirms that you can do it if you're being persistent.
Yeah, exactly. I think persistence there, the real key word.
Because not all pro players started at, wow, I'm immortal suddenly, because you're not. But yeah, definitely the standout player for me. Same goes for Yowie in the second season. Yeah,
watch pro games, watch some replays. Make sure you kind of pick a role, pick a few heroes.
By the way, Chad, I'm not saying quit your jobs, leave your girlfriends, boyfriends, and just play Dota. But, you know, if you're feeling it, go for it. Like, don't let that dream just be a dream.
Go and do whatever you want to do. And right now, Yowie in that mid lane up against Invoker. Very even farm trade between the two of them. I don't think there's too much kill threat until maybe, you know, we hit level 6s on these guys. That's primarily going to be the rotations into side lanes off of these active runes early on. And RTW doing a pretty decent job, even under all that aggression. Farming away 10-0. There's good pressure, and of course the free farming Magnus is that real point of contention there, with BDZ also contesting the pulls of Kuroki. So an uncomfortable laning stage top in their safe lane for Team Nigma. So it feels like bottom lane has to be where they find the action. Getting onto Palos, a decent save with a shield and the heals. Palos Fairy fires up, but Mind Control and GH back onto them with GH. Oh, he's going to get away with Mind Control, isn't he? RR, does he have a missed coil? I think he's still level 2, isn't he? Yeah, so
325
just have to try and chase him.
310, God's Rebuke ready.
The one hit. Yes, the one hit he needed.
RR will also pick up the Bounty Rune. Palos will TP bottom after dying. He was so close. How's mid doing? 21 on Invoker against 16 on Void Spirit. Miracle double null talisman. A lot of mana regen, a lot of damage early on.
And a ranged hero just pummeling into that Void Spirit over and over again. Void Spirit obviously very reliant on casting his spells to secure the CS early on. Even though he is that melee hero with a Quelling Blade, he can struggle when he's being tornadoed to deny out range creeps, and the like from Miracle can cause a few small problems. But again, quite a dull lane between the two of them. It really is that bottom lane where we see that push up, the pressing forward from Execration, shove the wave out, get a few stuns forward. They can't drag the wave back. There's no large camp there for RR to pull, and he hasn't made his way back towards that small camp fast enough either. So that allows GH to start playing a little bit further forward, and this Winter Wyvern Mars lane, level 4 Wyvern already 5 minutes in, level 2 Splinter Blast, yeah.
So that hurts quite a lot. We said that Mars needs to have a good game, and he is. He's having a really good time on the bottom, a lot of damage.
And there they go.
Ones just gets blown up, didn't even pop it.
Annihilates the Wraith King. And Palos is starting to struggle there, but top lane, RTW also taking the brunt of that damage from Execration. The tanky Spectre with, what, 10 Wand, Raindrops, Fairy Fire, and 2 points in Dispersion. Not something they can actually finish off.
The importance of the Raindrops. We can see Mind Control holding one. Just does not want to die in this lane, and they can put a ton of pressure on it. Miracle hitting level 6. Void Spirit, he needs a rune. He definitely needs a rune, running out of mana. Also, Resonant Pulse Shield is dispellable by Tornado, so something you need to be aware of.
It feels like Yoei's going to need a rune and a rotation.
Need someone to die.
Coming to mid lane.
Like if your support dies there, he gets free TP.
Oh, look at this.
And he can refill the bottle.
Skewer disengages Nico. And BDZ's going to TP. There aren't any actual stuns there from Team Nigma. And very reliant on the Mars, like we've been saying, his Arena Spear and that Winter's Curse, the majority of their control. But Miracle now, an unexpected TP bottom. So they see the Wyvern top, and they feel safe bottom as Parlos just gets speared after that EMP Tornado combo. And the Wraith King, is this the third death in quick succession from him? They've been saved up by RR with a good shield. Parlos with no one charges, and the remaining right clicks coming through. Miracle Ghost walking to slow him down. Mind Control should get the finishing touch. A shield and a spear, oh, not quite enough damage. They need the dive from Miracle to take him down. And RR is looking to try to trade, but it's good Tornado, stopping Yoei's aggression. Into the trees.
They need this kill.
But Miracle's dead, and that's great for Yoei's Void Spirit.
Yoei, he was in the base, regening mana. Like, you can see that he needed to TP at the exact moment, did not want to refill the mana fully, otherwise he would not be able to get the kill. Palos, the laning stage, can't really do too much. It's actually a tragedy. He's, what, 0 and 3 at the moment, level 4, so they need to enable him. Magnus will definitely need to maybe rotate a bit early, because his laning stage is not going well. Give him that empower and allow him to come back into the game.
Yeah, maybe even think about stacking up some jungle camps for you. Get the Abaddon over there, maybe the Lina can do that job. But Miracle so very active early on. Goes bottom, goes top, he's everywhere on the map, finding openings. It's a good Light Strike array. Nico, unfortunately, though, out of mana, so he can't get any more damage onto RTW, and just drops. And this has all been about Miracle. Out of that mid lane, he's finding the perfect rotation. Miracle's projectiles
He was
fly.
trying to hide, but there is already an observer ward 8 minutes in. Check the wards. One on the high ground bottom, one on the high... Like, this is going to get the D-warded because there's no way that he can see him there. Nico doesn't have a sentry, so Lina is going to buy one and D-warded.
And a stack that was made up by Execration going to get taken out a little bit by GH. Steals a couple of creeps out from that. Or does he snipe the courier as well, flying overhead? He's going to go for the TP home instead. Yoei doesn't get the takedown, but you were right, there's the D-ward. They knew exactly where it was. Still reasonably even game here. I mean, Wraith King, even with his struggles, net worth-wise, looks pretty solid. Third position, barely behind his Void Spirit. Spectre, dead even in the net worth.
Because the first couple of waves were really good for Wraith King. They didn't really put too much pressure, but once they got the levels, Yoei, once again, gonna go in.
Straight towards Mind Control. Keeping this action-packed game going. The Cold Embrace is there, but MC stuck between 3 heroes. Execration, they bring the numbers they need, but a Haunt, Spectre jumps to the back line, snipes out RR, and Mind Control, he's still alive. Parlos, he is level 6, so reincarnation will come, but MC is still alive under his tower, bottling up, and Nigma that wants to bring even more. 4 more than 3. Spear him up, catch out the Wraith King. 5 people.
5 people rotating bottom, 9 minutes in. Nigma, they are not messing around in this game.
Jeez.
They're just allowing team to get the farm. Spectre, I believe she also got a kill. Yep, LTW got a kill on RR. So some free gold, first good usage of the Haunt. Also going for Echo Saber
on
as
Spectre.
The first item. Yeah, this is the build that I believe it was Boyoyo yesterday who did it.
Yeah, a couple of times. Miracle into the Remnant. Yeah, has GH and Mind Control backing him up. They probably realize Yoei there, very limited on mana pool. Might consider a little smoke maneuver back into mid to try and pick him off. But so far, Nigma very good with the reactions. You know, we're praising Execration, bringing the 3 heroes bottom lane. The 5-man reaction from Nigma with that Haunt. Leaves a little bit of space for Execration. You know, Magnus farming away tremendously top lane. But you can start to see the gap building now for Nigma's cause with that Spectre and the Invoker up at the top.
They have this global presence, something that we didn't mention, but everyone who plays Dota pretty much knows. Wyvern, Spectre, plus a Sunstrike later on. No points in Exort at the moment.
First arena.
It will come off.
And that's an EMP Ice Blast. Chucking a kitchen sink at Nico, but he'll dodge away from it. Still getting tagged by the Cold Snap. Tornado going to stop any kind of shield he'll play. Buys a bit of time with Winter's Curse as well. They're focusing Nico, but the shield did come out as they turned back towards RR, but that's a tankier bad. And borrowed time has already been expended, sure. But that Shockwave Light Strike Array not connecting means we'll have a short reset as RR needs to shield himself. Try and dodge out of Miracle's damage. It just keeps on coming, but no one in the end will die.
XctN needs Void Spirit to be active. He's the one who can actually set the things up. Magnus still very tanky with that hood, with the Soul Ring, a bit limited on the mana. Magnus is definitely a hero that consumes a lot of mana, and you're also playing against the mana burn, as we see BDZ on the mid lane, getting his mana burn.
Invoker going to go double null into the drums, it looks like. Not going to go for that Urn or Spirit Vessel. Definitely does still have the Midas queued as Yoe makes that move forward. Jumping Invoker, RP expended. Good little pirouette spin around from Nico. Drag him close to the tower with a skewer.
No mana for Laguna. They still going to get the kill.
And Yoe, that Ice Blast is on him, but it looks like he'll survive through it.
That was
DD
nice
Rune as well.
Nico. First, the Yoe set things up. One step into Remnant, into LSA, and then skewer back into RP. Quick pause. We don't know that. But we always love to say that it's quick.
That's what we hope for. Well, yeah, put
It is.
positive thoughts out into the world of cost, and they will be returned to you in kind. Kuroki ready to get back underway immediately. As the Radiant team, they are rallying around this Wraith King now. I mean, what's the build from Palos? Is it the expected phase boots? Yeah, it looks like he considered the armlet with another Blades of Attack there, right?
Yeah, he went for 4 armlet.
He's got the armlet, yeah.
Because you deal a ton of damage, especially with the Empower, which is maxed out, and then you can go back into the Radiance.
A little bit risky against the AA, would you say?
Sure, but you don't lose as much HP as you did before.
Okay.
I've seen even players picking up armlet against Doom.
Still a solid
It's not
option.
as bad as it was before.
That's fair. And good aggressive farming from Yoe here. Not only taking farm away from Nigma, but playing up in this dire jungle area. Means that he's able to kind of use this as a platform to jump into top or mid, depending where his team wants to smoke or maneuver into. And the rest of the squad, they can aim to defend that mid-tier 1 tower. Well, Nigma are the ones yet again making that first step. They are the aggressors. They are the ones taking the initiative. They're looking to catch them down and slow this Empower Magnus draft down a little bit, knowing that Wraith King, Magnus, and that Void Spirit can scale very quickly with that steroid ability.
For those who are just tuning in, this is the Echo Saber Spectre, something that we didn't see a few days ago, but now it seems to be the thing. You get the damage, you get a bit of a tankiness, you get the mana regen that Spectre needs.
That's a good all-round item, yeah.
It really works well in Spectre. How, like, this is the thing. How did no one think of that before?
I bet someone was like, why am I buying Echo Saber on Slark and not on Spectre? You know, it's the same kind of deal. Do a lot of damage, tank myself up, something like that. I need mana regen, yeah. Perfect item. Yoe smoked up with the Lina and the Magnus.
It's also a double hit. Let's say a hero's isolated.
There's the jump.
Combined with Nesso. Good job.
Tornado got dodged out as well. Yoe can't finish it. GH slips away over the trees with the Arctic Burn. And Miracle might be able to turn this one around under this tier 1 tower, but there's a lot of execration heroes around here.
Nigma is all about that early aggression. You can see the itemization. You mentioned the drums. On Invoker, Phase Boots, Magic Wand, Double Null Talisman, then going back to Hand of Midas just to be able to scale, get the levels, but right now he wants to be able to fight with the team because Spectre is a bit slow. You know, you need to buy time for your own Spectre.
AFK Spectre farming that bottom lane. Still near the top of the net worth though, 6,200. You mentioned that Echo Saber heading into Radiance next. As it's a very similar setup here to the Wraith King and what he's going for. Armlet Radiance farming that opposing portion of the map up towards top. He's going to get there that little bit faster though. We'll start to see that gap increase with the Empower now. Look at that damage, just cleaving through a creep wave in a couple of hits. Farms out the large camp in a second. And then back into the triangle where it is very safe. And quite a wide spread here from XctN. They're not playing tight together. I assume they're ready to react onto any of their tier 1 towers. But they're farming all 3 lanes, farming 2 jungles, while Nigma kind of grouped up in pairings here, expecting a battle to come.
GH hiding in the trees in the top lane, one of the best heroes to defend the tier 1 tower. Not easy to kill, can set things up, especially after level 6.
A bit of aggression.
Magnus has RP, a bit low in mana. Once again, he's always low in mana. I'm just going to keep saying that. Let's see what they can make. Winterwyvern, one of the best heroes against the Magnus, can just split the whole fight. You go in, set up a kill, because you know they're going to be grouping around that RP.
And Mind Control slipping deeper into those trees. You mentioned GH's positioning, but Mars also in a similar spot. And Nigma bringing that Ancient Apparition top. The combo they've got, if they can catch a couple of people inside the arena, could be a beautiful setup for them. And if they get BDZ and Palos here, as Nigma, they do set up with a two-man tornado. Arena catching out Nico and BDZ. The Ice Blast onto Mars, and they blow up the Magnus. Now the Spectre haunting in towards RR. He pops a Spur of Time, they just need to get Palos and Yoe out of there. 3 heroes pummeled as Nigma bring everybody in yet again. The numbers advantage and the setup from Nigma spot on. And they're not done. Lacoste, they want Palos. They want to get more core heroes. Great spear after that chilling touch and the cold feet coming. Palos turns on his armlet, still has that level 2 reincarnation, don't forget. So first life sure is expended, but Nigma, they don't want to stick around. They know that people are respawning. So the tornado TP.
He actually hits him with the tornado while he is trying to TP out. Kuro will be the victim, eats Laguna Blade in the end. But overall, good fight from Nigma. Their vision game is super strong in the team fights. They had a high ground board. Also, they're ready to take the fight. You cancel the Blink Dagger on the Magnus with the Haunt. It's gonna be easy to fight. Like he tried to skewer. Miracle spellcasting has been on point this game.
Oh, it's been phenomenal. And yeah, he's going for that exact same build we were talking about. It's the 5 points in Wax, 4 in Quas, and then back into Exort to try and ramp up your damage. And he's got some exceptional setups like this. He doesn't have Cataclysm yet, of course, on the Invoker, but they've got Ice Blast, they've got Spear back, the RP being fake pump, Nico, Sunstrike coming, RP's the Mars. It's a solo catch for the Cold Embrace. It delays the damage coming from Execration, so MC is absolutely fine. And he's got some Skellies following him. And Mind Control running forward incredibly aggressively. He arenas 3 of them. Follow through a little lacking though. They're focusing onto RR off to the right-hand side of the fight. And Miracle can't get the finishing blow on the Abaddon. So Execration, they hold out. Even losing that Wraith King there, they could still keep the pressure on and push towards that Tier 1 tower.
Nico.
Onto Kuro. Nico with a great blink skewer back. On that now surely should secure them the objective they've been waiting so long to claim.
He makes it look easy, but this is definitely not easy to execute. Blink Dagger into Shockwave, into Skewer back. Something that I believe Poppy pioneered, at least it was the first time I've seen it, is this build on Wyvern. Just Brown Boots and then transitioning into Holy Locket, maxing out the Cold Embrace, lowering the cooldown on it, 15 seconds. It's a lot of value coming out from that spell in this game.
Oh, with the Spectre on your team especially.
Yeah,
like.
they have no real burst damage. Like, their damage is more like over time until they get some damage items. Like Lina, she uses the combo, damage output. Let's say Void Spirit goes in, uses 1 or 2 steps, plus a Resonant Pulse and Assimilate. Damage output is going to be very limited.
And while this has all been happening, ILTW closes in on that Radiance. Relic should have the money for it after this creep camp. And Nigma even going to scan the Roshan, expecting Execration to make some kind of sneaky play in there. Sunstrike sees there's nobody in the pit, but this now could be an opportunity for Execration to walk in. They think better of it, instead opting to go towards the Tier 1 mid lane. Start prepping for that fight around the tower. And I like this from Miracle, yeah, into the Aghanim Scepter. Cataclysm into that Winter's Curse and the Mars ulti. We were starting to talk about that earlier on before the fight kicked off. So many setups here for Miracle to be able to blow people up.
It will be chaotic. Spectre haunting in, Mars Arena bouncing off the walls. You see Cataclysm, EMP.
Where do we run?
Yeah, you will need the BKBs. What's Nico building? He's going into full pipe, just taking up for his own team. And finally has Arcane Boots, so a lot more mana pool to work with. Another RP, Skewer back, away from the Winter's Curse.
Yeah, good little stun with the Light Strike Array, but there's the Curse now with the Arena on them. Nigma counter-initiate and the Cold Embrace. Healing Miracle, he's still alive. He's half HP. Oh, they turn it around, finally blowing up the Invoker, but it's a tragic fight here as they take down BDZ and Nico. The buyback for Miracle now, wanting to extend this longer. Reincarnation from the Wraith King brings him back, and now the heal onto the Spectre. ILTW seems fine and dandy until BDZ with a Light Strike Array stun, connecting onto him, but the Deafening Blast pushback. It's a triple for Mind Control. They're going to get the 4th kill here. Lina die back. BDZ's done for.
That's what we talked about. They don't have enough damage. They decide to go in. Is it going to be a full team wipe?
They want the fifth one.
Oh, what a spear
Great
by Mind
catch.
Control.
Sunstrike a little off the mark there. Yoey, a TP. Ooh, that tornado was close. Ooh, the butt clencher.
Yeah, this build actually making the difference on GH, amplifying the healing, coming up from the Cold Embrace, and he also went for the Cold Embrace talent on level 2, just keeping people alive. Miracle bought back. He's not afraid to use it, just to win a team fight off of that. There was a good RP once again by Nico. Skewer back, try to go as further away as possible from that Winter's Curse. In the end, it connects, so you kill one of your teammates, but Miracle still dies in the end.
And look at how bold ILTW can be now with his Radiance up. Straight into that Radiant Triangle, and Mind Control Invis here gets the spear towards Parlos, but a skewer back. 4 men in the Shockwave, but Nico has no RP. So he's going to get definitely blasted and chased down by LTW. The damage substantial from the Spectre. Picks up a killing spree on a 2-man curse. They find the catch onto their faces, onto the Void Spirit, and the Sunstrike. Not quite connecting perfectly, and Yoey will slip away. Mars Arena onto RR.
Dagger will follow, but it's not enough damage.
Take down the Abaddon instead.
Yep, RR will pay with his life. Nigma just all over the place, going in and out multiple times. As you mentioned, ILTW pretty much having a perfect game. Once he has that Radiance up, can go in. It's very hard to focus him. Now 2k gold lead, and it feels like it's more of a 6-7k gold lead right now, considering the amount of farm that Spectre's got.
Yeah, that late game potential and the scaling from the Spectre. You want to be taking her out very early on, but given a pretty free game there. 11,000 net worth as they catch up Parlos. Yules and the Remnant not tagging Miracle like Striker Ray towards Kuroki, but they heal once again from GH. They buy so much time and extend these fights that Parlos dies twice. Now move in with Nico, but look at the damage from RTW, shredding through this Execration side, and the spear from Mind Control. Secures once more the BDZ Lina, while RR is left stranded. The borrowed time will only delay the inevitable death of the Abaddon. MC's in once again, and a triple kill for the Spectre.
It's just too much damage, too much control coming out from Team Nigma. Cold Embrace used multiple times. They actually caught misclick. Never mind.
Well, that's interesting. I was wondering if we had someone muted there. Execration had called it already.
This is not offensive GG.
You can't get away with that one.
It is a misclick. Happens to best of us.
They are in the lead, and they are pushing up high ground.
I usually misclick my abilities. I don't misclick GG, but
he's got it on a macro. That's what we'll say. Now, Glyph used up there by the Radiant team. Try and hold back Nigma. And there is still that top lane to go and clear through for the Dire team.
They don't have that one hero that can deal damage while they're Cold Embrace. Like, it's not even Ursa that can burn mana with the Diffusal Blade, get some stacks up, not a Slark, not a Lashrak that goes in and just feeds off that.
Or an OD or something, yeah.
And for that Roche fight, of course, they picked up the Illusion Rune on Spectre. All the abilities pretty maxed out. Dispersion plus Desolate. Everything works on the illusions. They go in. Now he's even going for the Manta style himself. Level 18. Haunt. 140-second cooldown. And now they can be anywhere on the map pretty much with their lineup.
It's going to make him so very powerful. On that scan, connecting onto Execration with Nigma smoked up. Sliding their way into that bottom jungle.
Nico, king of the hill.
He is up there on the top of the hill. There's the nice arena towards the Lina, but jump back in from Nico now.
No
Final cap towards GH, but the Winter Wyvern just turns around, casts the Winter's Curse, and Kuroki saved once more. This Cold Embrace Holy Locket you've been talking about has been spot on from Nigma. Kuroki, I don't know if he'll even die here. Shockwave back, but still alive, finally. Picked off by Yoey. RTW now, though, free reign in the fight to chase down any targets that he sees fit. Parlos, daggered up, slowed down, Sunstruck and killed. He's only got to done it. Miracle snipes the Wraith King. Nico,
nice
Shockwave, skewer. It's great back towards the tier 3. Mind Control, heal again.
They do not have the answer for this ability.
It's full HP.
It's actually ability, like one single ability. On top of them playing really well, executing spellcasting is what's winning them these team fights. I think they need this Aghanim Scepter on Void Spirit. They need to be able to jump him and silence him, maybe even silence him 2 times, follow it up with potentially Lina, even RP. We've seen a solo RP on Winter Wyvern. That's how strong Wyvern feels right now.
He's got a 4 staff now, so yeah, trying to catch the back lines and get onto that Winter Wyvern, even more difficult for XctN. Now 6k net worth lead, but like you were saying, that we could talk about inflation of Dota 2 with the heroes they've got. Probably feels more like 10k lead now for them. And Spectre are sprinting towards the Radiant team. Aegis in hand for what, a minute and a half, so doesn't mind too much losing that first life if it can set up for a proper fight.
Can they zone the team?
They're trying to catch RTW still with the chain stuns. And Nigma coming in little by little onto Nico. They find the Magnus, they've baited XctN. Ice Blast flies and trails over the Lina. BDZ gonna get hunted into the trees now. Sunstrike, it's not gonna hit. They scouted Lina out. But they won't be able to kill her off.
Aegis would run out in a minute, so a lot of value that Nigma got from it. Now Spectre finishing Manta style, going into Basher next, also 400 HP talent on level 20. It's gonna be much harder to take down. LTW this time around was a bit isolated from the team, but still takes a lot of time, and XctN respecting the respawn, not want to go for it.
Get the objectives, run back, reset. And they've got that realization, mid-wave is near the tier 1. They can clear that out for 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Bottom lane's going to get pushed by the Skellies. Void Spirit is there also, cutting back across the waves. We'll see if Nigma wants to traverse across the map or if they're just content here, holding that high ground area. Some drawing on the map coming out, saying side lanes need to be pushed. There's still a fair amount of time for that next Roshan to come back up.
Yowie has 0 deaths on Void Spirit. This is definitely his best hero, on top of Puck, I would say. They need this Aghanim Scepter. They need it fast, like they need it for the next fight. They're getting very close, just 100 gold away. The timing that they're looking for is that, plus a BKB level 18 on the Raid King, lower the cooldown.
Oh yeah.
Off Reincarnation and have spell immunity.
But look at this.
Once again going in.
Hey, Palos, he's got his Reincarnation, sure. He turns and whacks Mind Control. RR's helping him out too, but it's a BKB MC, and Palos, he doesn't have the mana, he's been burnt of it, so there is no Reincarnation. They've got an RP on the Spectre, but Nigma just diving the base, a double for Miracle. They are spot on with these initiations, all set up by Mind Control, and this Winter's Curse towards the Void Spirit. They're going to find all the core heroes. Yule Scepter into the air, the Remnant drop down, but Yoe's gone. XctN look pretty done now, a godlike streak. RTW's in the fountain.
But the difference is he's not dying. They just clean them one more time. 5-0 fight for Team Nigma.
At this point, it feels like a foregone conclusion. RTW unkillable, the cold embraces keep coming from GH. And the top laner Barracks disappearing before our very eyes, as Nigma with a 31-9, 14k lead in this game 1 of a best of 2, really asserting dominance. Again, the draft, AA Mars with that Invoker, real comfort stuff, and the transition towards the mid to late game with a Spectre Wyvern have been really spectacular.
This whole fight could have been a lot different if Raid King is level 18. If he has 3 points in Reincarnation, he respawns there. Nigma would definitely have to respect it more. Skewer back into tier 4s. LSA misses.
And now they've got an arena. RTW half HP, but look at that. The Cataclysm comes. Nico down. They'll find that first Reincarnation. And a Deafening Blast Meatball clears through his second life. He's got no buyback. And probably no chance now for XctN to hold. Second lane gone.
A tier 2 tower on the bottom, but they're gonna call it.
It doesn't matter, Lacoste.
Not enough damage. Winter Wyvern pick with his item build. GH pretty much single-handedly winning them the game. Those crucial heals coming up in the team fights. Some really good Winter's Curses on top of it, and you can see them smiling. They did a very good job. This game, GH, heavy lifting coming out from him. You know, he might need a chiropractic after this one. Give him a good old back massage. Rub his back. Let's see if anyone wants to do it, because
give him a nice little rub on the shoulders.
LTW was going for it, but we're not going to show that on camera.
And a difficult one there for XctN. I mean, like you're saying, the ability for GH to control everything with his Wyvern. Mind Control was pretty spot on with his initiations too. The amount of, not just the arenas he was getting, but just spearbacks. Blink spearback on that Wraith King around that triangle area set themselves up for the end game fight, basically.
We discussed how he needs to be active. Head off to a good start. Died a couple of times because they brought the numbers. Nigma with the early aggression, early rotations. 4-5 man at the bottom lane, 9 minutes in. This is what and how Nigma was been playing lately. They just bring the numbers, especially to tier 1 tower in the mid, try to take it down by force, bring the numbers. That has been the story of Nigma pretty much.
Yeah, and so, some real selflessness as well. I think you pointed it out. Miracle wasn't afraid to just buy back in that mid-game team fight, make sure that they could keep the playing field level, allow ILTW to get to that Echo Saber, the Radiance, the real heavy-hitting item timings they wanted.
Also understands that his job is to give ILTW farm, and he buys all these small items, Magic Wand, Double Null Talisman, Drums, Phase Boots, and he keeps fighting with the team. Still goes back to Hand of Midas to be able to get his levels and scale, and then goes for the Cataclysm in the end, which was pretty much the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I mean, the Aghanim pick up, we talked about all the setups they had, that Winter's Curse up against the Magnus. Some real beautiful stuff from Team Nigma there. And, you know, nice bit of momentum as well, because they're one of the few teams that have, 2-0'd some of these series. Yeah. They're looking like they are potentially going to be contending to get out of the wildcard and to the major proper. So if they can take out XctN here 2-0 as well, could put themselves in a very good spot. As I believe we're ready to head back to the panel in a little bit for some more breakdown and analysis. Shiva, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Gareth and the cast. I mean, any longer, we don't have a job anymore. Please, let us say something about this game, too. It's, well, game 1, actually. Haha. It was a very good game for Team Nigma, for sure. Here with Cap and Effie. And Effie, we said this was going to be a tough game for XctN because there was this inevitability for Team Nigma's lineup to come online, right? And that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely, and I think that Winter Wyvern pick really did its job that game. GH played incredibly. He had the cold embraces, he had the heals, the ultis, he did everything right there. It was just a thing of beauty to watch. Also,
he picked up the Holy Locket too to make the cold embrace.
Yeah,
right, that's something to note. The Holy Locket with his heal was so broken.
Yeah.
It was just really good. Another standout player that game for me was definitely Mind Control.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting the spheres, he was getting the arenas, he was finding the opportunities. He just played so well.
I love to see it because I feel like Nigma, when they are in top form, I think a lot of it does ride on Mind Control. Like, he is such a good offlaner when he's on point. And the sad part is that, like, a lot of fan base has been memeing him on and off, right? It's just like, oh, play better like Sev, going back to that whole thing. But, like, just in general, people feel like he's underperforming. But, like, this guy does make Nigma in so many ways. Like, when he is really good, he's just the best player in the server, I think. Like, Mind Control is very unique and very good as an offlane.
I think the previous major showed it, right? There were a lot of teams with stand-ins at that major, and that happens, and we still see those teams somewhat perform.
Yeah, IG, super.
Yeah, and then you got Team Nigma. They missed Mind Control previous major. They fell apart. House of Cards, it was nothing. They couldn't do anything. And this, star player, absolutely, for sure.
I honestly think that that Mind Control is, I don't want to offend anyone by saying their best player, but he's definitely, in my opinion, this like latent secret weapon for Nigma. Every time he has a good game, he just carries, he delivers. Every time they like set him up for success, he never falls short. And in my opinion, he was the MVP of the TI that they won. And ever since they had that roster shift, he kind of filled that sacrificial role that Matu used to play.
Now it's like they need to set up Miracle for success. Right? Oh, Miracle, big playmaker, best player in the world, right? And then, like, of course, ILTW, he's just like a solid carry player, so you got to be able to give windows for him. So often it does fall on Mind Control, but here, Mind Control is carrying half these team fights, and the other half are being carried by GH. So it's great to see those two really on point today, and unfortunately, XctN receiving the brunt of what kind of started off with, like, the laning phase was okay, but I think they needed to be more dominant. And that is just my biggest concern for XctN is that when they get these later game lineups that have big team fight combo, I think they look fantastic, but they are not as good at being able to take the momentum of a game and run with it.
Do we feel that, I mean, we obviously highlight GH and Mind Control for good reason, great players. This game specifically, though, do we feel like their lane also maybe was a little easy, if you will? They were laning against Wraith King Abaddon as a Mars Winter Wyvern, which definitely is Mars Winter Wyvern favored, right? So they were set up for success in a big way, I feel.
It was. The draft panel went by very quickly, so there were a lot of points that we couldn't talk about, but there was a really concerning lack of synergy, I think, in XctN's draft. Wraith King is not the carry that you like to play with when you're in Magnus. He doesn't have the attack speed to take advantage of the Empower. He doesn't really cleave through these camps fast enough. And in the case that Magnus does get a 5-man RP, Wraith King is not going to shred through them in the time that it's over. So while I think Wraith King is an excellent hero, I think part of picking a hero like that so early, just to deny it from the enemies maybe, or for another reason, you are sacrificing that compatibility with your own team.
And I'm not sure if I've ever seen an Abaddon Wraith King combo before.
Yeah.
Like Wraith King is supposed to be the quintessential like standalone carry because he's got 2 lives, and Abaddon is the hero to go to when I need to be able to babysit somebody constantly the entirety of the game and just be around them. And Wraith King's just not that hero. So yeah, it did feel like they almost bought in too much to the opener of Nigma, right?
Yeah.
They said Ancient Apparition, Mars. What are those heroes bad at? Well, if they can't burst somebody down, they start, beginning to fall off a bit. Well, let's go ahead and draft this Wraith King. Let's go ahead and double down on that concept by Abaddon. But we talked about how Nigma was playing for longer, drawn-out team fights. Winter Wyvern is a big part of that. The Cold Embrace is a great way for you to be able to reset. They pick up the Spectre, a carry that is not super popular. It's not one of the go-tos right now, but it is still one of the kings of late game, or queen in that case.
And also another thing to note is that these counter-initiate heroes, like Magnus, really don't like playing against Spectre.
Yeah.
It's really hard for them to just go in and find that RP when Spectre presses Haunt, even if she's not at her fighting peak. That game, the role that she can play by just pressing Haunt and stopping the Magnus blink is so crucial.
It's on both sides, right? It's both the fact that she's able to find you with Haunt and stuff, but she's also not like the ideal carry to jump on either, because she's just so naturally durable at a certain point. Like you get the level 20 talent, you get an extra 400 health, you've got Dispersion. It just feels like a big combo that you're trying to put into Spectre. It just doesn't feel quite as good as, say, those like Trolls or Juggernauts where you can execute them a lot faster.
How harsh can we be on the Wraith King build? Game ended at minute 28 or so, because a fight was had where Wraith King couldn't get his reincarnate off. And Wraith King hadn't had his BKB done yet. He was fine. But he also didn't have the shard, minute 28. And I feel like when you're playing against Invoker, you kind of have to have that, surely?
So I'm down to flame the hell out of people when they really screw up. But I actually do agree with him in some ways when I thought back about it.
Yeah.
Look at their situation. They're playing up against Spectre. Like, they're inevitably going to lose this game. If he has to spend 1,400 gold on an item that doesn't give him any stats, doesn't give him any damage, like, he is accepting the loss at that point in time. The truth is they just needed to be farther ahead so he could have BKB closer to that 20-minute mark rather than 28 minutes and still looking for it. So
it feels so bad to buy a shard on Wraith King if you don't have other items. That's 1,400 gold spent on just getting your ulti off. And what happens when you reincarnate anyway? Are you gonna win the fight? They were just
I would say probably not that fight that he lost the game on.
Yeah.
Too far behind.
It just, for me, it's almost a little bit of mentality that XctN just accepted the fact that they were going to lose against this Lina Magnus lane. They were just like, this is a hard lane. Like, okay, let's just try and get what we can out of it. Let's just play with this Abaddon. And like, I don't know, like, I want to see XctN like take control of a game by 20 minutes and demolish somebody by 30. Like, that's what I want to see out of this squad, because I already know they can play the late game team fights. I already know that they are so sick of being able to make like good combos work well together.
They're excellent with their combos.
Yeah.
They played so beautifully yesterday in their game versus Vici when they had the Soulbind and the Nyx Assassin and the Darkseer. That was something incredible to watch.
So we want to see something like that for them in game 2.
In a must-win situation.
It is a must-win situation.
I'm talking about, like, big picture, like TI sort of thing. I want to see a development of but right now, like, go with what you're best at, and that's going to be the Grimstroke Doom, like, that you talked about. And also, like, they need their standout player to really be able to step up. And for you, Effie, you said that was Nico, right?
Definitely Nico for me. The Grimstroke Doom, they actually did play it versus Secret. They finally got it, but they got absolutely stomped. I really wanted to see more out of it, but Doom's been getting first phase banned against them almost every game, so hopefully we can see
Yeah.
that next
I mean,
game.
this could potentially be the last game that XctN plays because this is their last series. There is so much riding on this series for them. At the moment, they have tied every single opponent that they've played against, which means that for now, because they lost this first game of this 2-game series, the best they can end that is all ties, which is a little silly, but it does put them potentially in contention for a tiebreaker. It kind of relies on other teams as well, which makes it kind of tricky. But yeah, for XctN, there's so much on the line on this. Potentially, like I said, last game, definitely last game of this series, of course. On the other side, Team Nigma has about the same situation. They also are at the same amount of points. They did have one 2-0, but also one 0-2. They, however, still have a series after this. But winning this series for them would mean the world, because then they are again one step ahead of the rest, and they would join the likes of IG and JazkieGaming, who at the moment are topping the charts here in the wildcards, and there's only space for 2 teams to make it through. I don't know, I'm going to need to see something something good coming out from XctN, but I kind of feel like if XctN take this, it's going to be more impactful for Team Nigma's results than for XctN's results in terms of chances, purely because this will be their last series, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think IG and JazkieGaming, for me anyway, looking at the games that they have left, both of those teams are slated to have a positive score, right? And there's only 2 slots.
Yes.
I believe one of them still has to face up against AS Monaco Gambit. JazkieGaming has already taken a game off of IG in their series that is happening right now against each other. So
yeah, IG actually. This is obviously they're playing against Vici. They still have 2 series to go after that.
Yeah.
So they have the most growth potential still of all the teams, and
Secret has a lot of games to play as well,
yes,
right?
They
only played
still
2
2
yesterday.
series.
Yeah.
One of them against IG.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a spicy one.
Yeah,
But it does look like I don't know. I feel like the curtain is closing a little bit here for both of the teams. Then, Effie, do you feel like for both Team Nigma and XctN, or with Nigma, if Nigma take this 2-0, have they restored your confidence in them?
I was hoping for the anime storyline for Nigma.
Yeah.
That's what I was rooting for, you know? It wasn't... I think that if they do take this 2-0, they have a chance. They have a chance for sure. You really don't know what can happen. A lot of these teams have been drawing each other. Even Gambit managed to draw a lot of the more popular teams.
True.
No, this wildcard series has been super close. I do want to give a shout out to Nigma, and you could see a difference of their drafting from DPC to now here at the major. We're seeing Ancient Apparition. They went ahead and snapped back that up right away. During the DPC, they would not do that. They would give Ancient Apparition to so many teams, and they would instead go for Dark Willow. Instead, they would go for Tiny as a pickup, who's a hero that just seems to be doing awful so far at this tournament. But you know, Curl has not been stubborn about that. They've said, okay, this Ancient Apparition is going to be a big meta pick. We're actually going to be grabbing it when we can. I like to be able to see that, you know, when you are an older captain, you know, people like to meme on Curl and especially Puppy as being stubborn about their draft.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you've been successful for 10, 15 years of this game, you know, you kind of do get into certain patterns, and it's nice to be able to see Curl just, you know, accepting the way the meta is currently going and grabbing the Ancient Apparition for themselves several times in this wildcard event.
Yeah. One of the things actually that Kuro said during the DPC League, like he said it a lot, every time we had an interview with him when they won, is like, okay, the playstyle that we want to play is fast, right? Was this game, could we consider the first game fast? Like, how have we felt like their games were this tournament so far? Because they have been vocal, one of the few teams that have been vocal about the style of play they want to play, right? And I feel like we haven't seen them play as fast as you'd kind of want them to, considering what they said, if that makes sense.
I think they've played pretty fast, actually. They hit their mid-game timings quite well, especially when they first phase Morph for Miracle, which they have done a couple of times. Their draft does come online the way that they want it to. The issue that they've had, from what I've seen, is that they just haven't been able to close out these late games versus these like heavy team fight drafts that they've been playing against. So
I think some of the slower lineups I've seen from them have become more draft-based than play-based, let's say. Like the Dragonite offlane that they picked up from Mind Control that one game, like like those sort of lineups, just it's hard to play them fast because naturally they just don't feel you can play that way.
Yeah, we're gonna find out if they can play fast this game round, or maybe XctN can get another tie out of it. I mean, it would be quite nice and quite fitting if they can tie every single series that they play here in this wildcards. We are in the draft for game number 2. We already have a couple of bans coming out, with the Ancient Apparition coming out for XctN and Puck there too, and Team Nigma ban out Nyx Assassin and Templar Assassin. And the first pick goes the way of XctN on the Dire side.
I would like to see XctN play some of their more comfort heroes instead of these clumsy Magnuses and not the Magnus, but the Magnus paired with the Wraith King. That would be a really nice thing to see.
Yeah.
Morph Willow. Is that something you'd be happy with as an opener?
Sure. I really like the Morphling. They have an excellent Morphling player on the side of XctN. Palace plays that hero incredibly well. They've had a lot of success with it during the DPC. And it's a very valuable pick because Nigma also first phase Morphling quite often, so they just took it from them.
Yeah, and Nigma, like, they're going to look at this and say, yeah, I was going to say, like, just go for a similar opener when you see a Morphling, right? Go for as much burst damage, bit of initiation. You can't get the Ancient Apparition this time around, which obviously would be the preferred hero against Morphling, but Lion gives you instant initiation, where you can get the Hex off before he morphs into strength, heavy amount of burst damage, and just in general, good combo with Mars. Except for that slight bit of dysynergy where, you know, sometimes you Earth Spike and Spear at the same time and he flies over the wall. But, you know, I'm sure GH.
I can tell you're a Mars player just because you got that.
Yeah, every time. Don't impale, I'm spearing him. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for Dark Willow is like the go-to against or with Morphling. I'm not sure how I feel about this Morphling.
I have a question.
Yeah?
A technical question.
Yeah.
If they would go for the Willow, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, Morphling turns into Willow, but Mars puts his arena down. If you get the Shadow Realm out, does the arena wall...
That's our block.
They block
Yeah.
still, so you're safe inside the arena or on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until he gets level 20 and he gets the waveform attacks targets, and then he waveforms over you and he does Shadow Realm hits while he's waveforming over you.
That seems broken.
Yes. yeah.
We're not going to have a Willow, though. It's going to be more Warlock coming out for XctN.
So for me, this Warlock pick kind of tells me that it's probably going to be a Siphlane Morph, which isn't ideal for a first phase Morphling, but that is their Morph player. He is their Siphlaner.
Yeah.
Warlock's just really nice to lane with Morphling. Obviously, there's still a chance that he's mid, but in the case that he isn't, Warlock just heals off all the harass that can come out of this Mars lane.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice hero to have. It's not as fighty and brawly and fast as the heroes that I like to see XctN play, so I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't pick up their Grimstroke or their Snapfire or their Earth Spirit, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. It's always about the Morphling player themselves and how active they feel like they can be, because you can see some Morphling players, they, especially the mid Morphling players, right? They like to play pretty active, and it's all about who they can turn into. They like to get real tricky with it. You know, and he may be able to do some of that this game, but yeah, it definitely feels more so like XctN is trying to secure both his lane and a bit of late game with this pickup. Warlock is also a really nice combo breaker, right? You're going to be jumping in on this hero. Warlock naturally just sits behind cores because he's got nothing else to do. That's just his job.
Yeah.
So he just drops the golem. That's going to give Morphling enough time to be able to waveform, morph strength, those sort of things.
We're probably going to see a lot of stacking coming out from Warlock too.
Yeah.
That's kind of just what he does for the first 10 minutes of the game. Yeah, but we see a Deem Ban and a Void Ban both to protect the Morphling. Obviously, like nothing out of the ordinary here.
Yeah, Warlock is a surprisingly fun hero, but boy, he is just everyone's servant, you know? Heal me, stack for
He's
me,
so boring.
sit behind me.
It's so boring. I don't like watching Warlock games.
See, you know what that is? That probably means you're a nice person and you don't get the sadistic enjoyment of upheaval slowing people and watching them just slow down to a...
I get enjoyment.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'm just like...
With Warlock, also one of the things that is always brought up, I mean, obviously his ultimate's great, we like that, but Fatal Bonds, I want to talk about those. Do Team Nigma need to, do they need to get something that is able
Natural
to get
Dispel.
Natural Dispel, like a hero that actually has in mind, like, okay, we can deal with the Fatal Bonds?
So I hope this is okay to share. Nigma, way back at TI7.
I'm sure TI7
Yeah, I feel like
should be safe.
okay, right?
Should be safe.
So part of the reason I went to that story about Curl was the fact that they didn't like Ancient Apparition back then either, and they let people have it all the time because they said what he does, if you run fast enough at a team with Ancient Apparition, he can't do anything.
Yeah, he dies.
Right? Yeah, it's just like, it's hard to hit Ice Blast when people are running at you. It's just like, just the speed of a team fight. If a team fight's over, but the Ice Blast is taking you down, like, okay, it doesn't really matter, right? So if you always take the initiation away from that lineup, it's going to feel good. And I think it's very similar to this Warlock situation. You don't necessarily need natural dispels, but if you play a fast enough pace of game where you're always in their face, you're always pressuring the Morphling, your Warlock maybe stops a combo with his Golem, but he doesn't actually get a good team fight for you. Well, guess what? He doesn't have the Golem next time that you try for that kill. I think it's very much play in their face over and over again.
You got the Willow.
We got the Willow. Now we just need to extend the game for Morph to get an axe, and I think that's going to be maybe a difficult one, considering we got another Miracle Invoker coming out.
I like Invoker here.
Yeah.
He's good here. Wex Invoker is very good against Morphling also. And Miracle plays it so well, and it's a very, very fast hero. It fits the style of play that you mentioned Kuro wanted to play.
Yeah.
Also, the Elder Titan pick is definitely nice versus Morphling, but I'm not sure who they're going to lane it with. Because having like they still need their safe laner, right? And having a 2 melee safe lane can open you up to scary heroes like Darkseer, maybe. But traditionally, Elder Titan versus Morphling, he just melts all of his armor. It's all like base armor, right? It's all one. It's a good hero versus him.
Yeah, no, they've got a sick, like, if they can actually, so Faceless Void is banned out, but yeah, like, magic damage is so amped up whenever you have an ET, and the fact that they're going to be able to take away all his natural armor, like this Morphling, I don't know what exactly you do if they get a nice, like, physical damage dealer. Because right now, like, BKB may be a necessity for him at some point in time. Lincoln's very likely just to be able to deal with the Blink Hex from the Lion. I don't know, Execration is going to have to run a lot of heroes in front of this Morphling. So that's why I like this Tidehunter pickup. Still not amazing just because Quas Wex Invoker, like EMP, just sucks to play against.
Their lineup is very slow,
Yeah.
and that's kind of concerning for me because you're going to have this Invoker, Mars, and Lion running around. Do they have the tools to fight back with this Tidehunter?
Yeah, I'm concerned that they won't be able, that they're not going to have anybody who takes the tempo of this game whatsoever. It's just going to be Nigma running at Execration, and a win in the first 25 minutes for Execration is going to look like not losing a hero. You know, that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be about them actually killing Nigma. That being said, we did say that was their weakness in the first place, and they are better at playing the later team fights.
Also,
But,
there's so high cooldown on the side of Execration that I'm concerned for their ability to actually have this Morphling go out and farm, because typically when you play these really high cooldown drafts, you get choked out on the map very fast by heroes like Invoker, ET, Mars, Lion.
So what solves that? What, like, can they move their Morphling to the safe lane and pick something that is maybe a little bit more active that can create the space that you're talking about that he needs?
In my head, it's already kind of a safe lane Morphling, but Nigma are banning out safe laners.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still a safe lane Morphling. Okay, they do pick the Queen of Pain. That's their response. They want a hero that can kind of match their pace. I still don't know how good Queen of Pain is as a hero.
Yeah, no, I
This
agree.
patch. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was telling me that he thinks she's actually underrated because her Ag Scepter is very good versus these really tanky heroes like Mars, Bristleback, Elder Titan. That might be true, but I don't think it's enough.
How does the mid lane match up? Queen of Pain versus Invoker. I feel like that's a very traditional mid lane that should have a clear
They
outcome.
drafted an Animajor.
Oh dear.
I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
whatever, you can.
It's a legit anime.
You can. You can play it. Like, they're not going to suffer, I think. The Queen of Pain Invoker matchup, if it's a Quas Invoker, he sustains quite easily. He can lane against her.
Okay.
Once he hits level 5, he does not get bullied out of that lane.
Yeah, it goes like the Quap, like, he's like, I think I'm gonna dagger you, and she starts running forwards, you know, to get in range, and Invoker's like, all right, cold snap, I'm gonna right click you now. You wanna play this battle? Because I've got natural sustain.
I've got a question. Does Palos not play Morph? It's a Palos Queen of Pain, and it's a Morphling for Yue.
Palos does play more.
So why did they swap it for this one? Why are we gonna see potentially a Palos mid? Or is Queen of Pain safe lane? Please tell me that's not a thing.
Maybe.
Is it a thing?
I saw them play. I think safe lane Death Prophet once.
Okay.
Something weird like that. So it could be. They could just be swapping. Maybe he prefers the Queen of Pain, but I don't know how I feel about safe lane Queen of Pain either. I don't know. This Queen of Pain really threw me off. I'm gonna lean towards Nigma for sure. Their draft just makes more sense to me.
They just open in such a passive way and such long cooldowns. Then they pick the Tidehunter on top of that. And they didn't pick it with a hero that really takes advantage of Gush, like a Mirana or something. So I'm heavily leaning towards Nigma.
Maybe there's an idea behind this safe lane Queen of Pain, if it is safe lane, that she just farms that early Orchid and just leads the charge. She can definitely like secure her farm a little.
So you still want, for them to have a good game, you still want that Queen of Pain, let's say regardless of where she goes. She sets the tempo, she creates a space. There's a lot of pressure on Palos.
It's that early Orchid.
Okay. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, this is the final game of XctN, bar tiebreakers, of course, but the final one in their wild cards round robin matches. Let's find out how it's going to play out for them against Team Nigma Game 2 together with Gareth and Lacoste.
Thank you, Shiva. Yeah, a lot of pressure on that Queen of Pain, trying to remedy some of the draft issues there for XctN. A lot of long cooldowns, like the panel was explaining, against Nigma's fast-paced draft, and an anti-mage at the end to round it all off. Lacoste, are you leaning towards Nigma like the panel were?
Yeah, the Queen of Pain, a new hero. Definitely, there's a reason why hero hasn't been picked that often.
It's shiny.
They're swapping the lanes. They're going to put Morphling on a mid lane. It's a much better matchup against the Invoker.
Okay.
And have Queen of Pain on the side lane, safe lane. Because Morphling is like half-range hero.
Oh, they're fighting. Well, Nico is already dead. The Tidehunter's gone. LTW gets first blood. Your safe lane carry's already picked up a kill. Just like that, Nigma kick off this second game with a bang. And like the panel was saying, XctN's last potential chance to get another victory up on the board. They've drawn everything, and we'll see if they can pick up a win here against Nigma, but not a great start for them, and some tips already flying out, some camaraderie tips there.
Yeah, I guess the reason is Queen of Pain doesn't get as pressured as Morphling would be on a mid lane. So with this swap, they have a win-win situation pretty much. They're setting themselves up for two very good lanes. But as you mentioned, first blood for Anti-Mage. So that's a big chunk of gold for him already.
Yeah, great start. So that's going to be that nice quick move into the Ring of Health. That'll give them the sustain, and you really do start to think about the snowball from the Anti-Mage there as we take a peek into that mid lane. Miracle against Yue, already just harassing back that Morphling with his right clicks.
Also Enigma deciding to swap things around. We have GH playing position 4 Elder Titan in the safe lane. Wouldn't be able to do much on the top lane against two range heroes. It just completely shuts down the ET, so there are swapping things around. Kuroki right now will block the big camp and also do the pull. A lot of stuff happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Dota, straight up efficiency. Kuro, very good at it.
Everyone already getting off to a great start. And I guess also, BDZ dying bottom. GH there with his bonus damage out of that Astral Spirit just runs the Dark Willow down. Finds a nice pick-off. I guess Kuroki here, the Lion, also... You know, it's not a sad thing for him to be able to swap into this lane, right? Because they'll have the double stuns with that Earth Spike into the Spear from Mars. They'll have setup and catch onto people. And GH doing a great job bodyguarding the Anti-Mage, bullying back both Nico and BDZ already.
Nico already out of mana. He has Phase Boots in his quick buy. I would prefer if that's a Soul Ring.
Yeah.
Maybe he decides to swap. That way you have a bit more strength, more damage, and could potentially use your spell this way. You're just don't do anything. One thing I would love to see is them bringing out a bit more region to the bottom lane. Elder Titan bringing us out. He is playing a position 4, but will need to do a position 5 jobs for the first couple of minutes, bring those healing salves so that the Anti-Mage can sustain.
Salve Spammer, that's the name of the game for him. And Yue very low in the mid lane, has a Fairy Fire, and of course...
Lowy, very low on HP there on the mid lane.
He's got a Fairy Fire and Strength Morph now. His bottle arrives. 2-minute water rune, bottom one for him. Top for Miracle, of course. And Mind Control here, contending with Palos, Queen of Pain, who has come back to try and contest the lane dragging, which Kuro has been so successful in. Something Quap, of course, can do, being able to blink around the map, while that Warlock is trying to drag back and pull some camps for himself.
Warlock, Queen of Pain, you don't get too much out of that lane. It just doesn't sound good. You want to pair him up, but we already discussed why they decided to swap lanes. It's just the lane does not feel particularly strong.
Yeah, I guess, all that talk and potential negativity around the long cooldowns and abilities from Execration, when they do have team fights with the Fatal Bombs, the Sonic Wave, the Aghanims that Effie was mentioning as well on the Queen of Pain, they've got a lot of burst damage and the ability to bring these heroes down incredibly quickly. So when they get team fights that go well for themselves, they could start to build up that critical mass they need on the Morphling.
Bottom lane is pretty much won already. ILTW, Ring of Health available, has 6 stick charges, no mana on Tidehunter, does not feel pressured at all.
Yeah.
At this point, Tidehunter puts another point in Anchor Smash.
Is that
Not
early
too
ring?
much value. I think it's better if you just get a Kraken Shell since you're not going to have mana anyway.
You may as well just start tanking up, beefing up in that bot lane.
You just get stats. Stats and Kraken Shell.
Is that the build?
No, I'm kidding. I mean, I have to explain myself. I'm being sarcastic.
Really?
A lot of times, so people, don't know if I'm joking or not. Someone might do it in pub and then quote me, slide into my DMs, send some angry messages.
Now they'll be thanking you, and you'll be congratulating them for winning with such an amazing build. Nico, yeah, he's dead down in the bottom lane, caught out. Kind of wanted to die in that situation. He'll respawn with a nice double wave coming his way, and of course, full resources again for him. But like you're mentioning, it's a victory for Nigma no matter what way you look at it down in the bottom lane. GH pulls back, LTW spamming denies, trying to get rid of all the resources that they wanted to claim, and a good little tornado there. Did that bottle refill? Did Yoe's bottle get refilled?
It did.
Okay. It was close though. Good attempt from Miracle to stop it.
Yeah, it's a nice try, just try to disable him, send him up in the air so he can't pass the bottle up. Queen of Pain on top of the CS board. You definitely need to get, like Orchid might just get a power treads, but Queen of Pain's strength is jumping on a certain hero, blowing him up. Orchid just feels natural.
Yeah, early days, Invoker, AM, Lion, probably the big targets there for you as the strength more from Yoe gets him out of danger.
Has been killed.
Out of the grasps of Lion, who did rotate into mid, while it looks like GH's Courier sniped by BDZ.
We see a lot more just mana burners being picked up. Like Lion, in this game, Nigma, they got 3. You have Mana Drain,
yeah.
you have Anti-Mage, and you also have EMP. Nyx Assassin super popular. Before, this was one of my most annoying combos to play against. She's gonna be fine. Nyx Assassin plus Medusa, when she was stealing mana, you weren't able to use your abilities. Mana burn plus a snake, whole mana pool gone.
Especially like Wraith King before he got his Aghanim shard.
Solo kill.
Oh, Miracle killed Yoe mid! Well, he deserves that tip from Mind Control, that's for sure. So what was that? Just a shift down from the Morphling and a little
Shift down,
catch.
got surprised by a tornado.
Complete surprise, yeah, for everyone. And Nico chased down again, not really having a laning stage to himself, and a surprise that he's got 20 CS, honestly, the way things have been going down bottom lane. 7 denies as well. Right, it's down to BDZ pulling and dragging the wave back, allowing the Tidehunter to get something, at the very least. And apparently the game really wants us to know that GH's Courier was killed a while back with his win late and his Ring of Regen on it. It's been there for a while. It's stuck.
Guys, please talk about it. GH feeding away the Courier, not intentionally, but...
Oh, is this a kill?
He's
got absolute shift.
Got it off. He got it off. All good, but whole mana pool is going to be gone.
Yeah, he's got 7 wand, but this is not comfortable for Yoe whatsoever. Being chased and hounded by the Lion every step of the way. Good pressure from Nigma across every single one of their lanes.
Bit of a different build from Miracle. Understandable, playing into Morphling wants to get that Urn/Spirit Vessel early. Just reduce the healing and have that kill threat, especially on the supports. Also reduce the healing coming out from Warlock.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah. Get rid of some of that sustain. It's level 7 Invoker, almost level 8 now. They're sticking in that mid lane. Not really bothered about rotating too much. Just keep sticking it onto Yoe's Morphling, who did get the shift off inside that tornado, and healed up by the Shadow Word of Warlock, who comes in to try and react to some of this Nigma aggression in the mid lane. Now the stun again. He's going to be all right for now. Still holding out, but GH's arrival should be able to force him out of the lane now. BDZ and Nico both reacting to the ET's movement. Curse Crown into the Bramble Maze, but Miracle and Kuro here with the stuns and the stomp from GH. Nico being drained of his mana. BDZ still aiming for this GH kill. Although there's a ward there.
He was just checking if there's a ward there, and now he pings it. Like, before you die, be efficient. GH is a god.
Oh, the neutral!
The neutral creeps actually get him.
The God Gamer Sata takes him out, and a good spear back from Mind Control top allows him to securely TP back to Fountain. So some good reactions from Execration, you know, needing to bring the numbers into that mid lane to defend their Morphling. But an Invis Invoker might be able to find the takedown. 2 earned charges. Cold Snap Tornado at the ready. Aiming in towards mid. There's the stun. The chain disables. Perfect execution from Nigma.
Mind Control, he's very quick. He's paying attention. Whenever Miracle gets a kill, he's always ready to tip him.
He's got nothing else to do. Is AFK walking back to back to lane, all the way from base.
You heard it. If you got nothing to do, tip your teammates. But when they're doing well,
keep that morale high.
Yeah. That ward that we talked about, the GH move, when he was hiding near the trees, got devoured.
That's a good spot. And he'll know about these stacks as well. Warlock and Tide trying to pick up the pieces in their own triangle. GH sees them. Spirit comes across. And bot lane, I mean, it's just completely free for this anti-mage. There is no contest whatsoever.
The only hero that AM needs to be afraid of is Queen of Pain rotation, possibly like Tidehunter Ravage. One of the reasons why he decided to go for the Power Threads, it will increase his farm early on before he gets the Battle Fury. And then you have tankiness, like you get extra tankiness from the Power Strike Trends, mid lane,
that's 5 times in a row.
Karoki's just being annoying. He's on the mid lane using mana drain and getting a couple of kills. Stuns people while EMP is there, and it's gonna be a fast Spirit Vessel. Miracle just needs 900 gold to finish it off.
And that's the thing, you know, these 4 heroes here outside of the anti-mage for Team Nigma, they're going to be ready with their level 6s. I mean, Mars drops up in the top lane, dies to Palos after spending his arena. That Sonic Wave looked like it was able to take him down. Oh, Miracle in towards the Dark Willow. Quick little Bramble Maze onto him and Kuroki. Shadow Realm to try and split away from it. But Kuro gets the final touch there as RR dies solo to ILTW. 252 gold for your anti-mage.
Do your job, you're dead. You got nothing better to do.
He's run out of tips,
your
man.
Teammates. Do you think he already used all of them?
Yeah, I think so. He's out of tips already. First 10 minutes, they're all gone. Oh, we see the natural. Oh, it's a long TP! That's a long TP! Queen of Pain speared. Miracle Kuro have the stuns. Palos down, and that's meant to be your main tempo setter. Dead for 30 seconds, and freedom for ILTW continues.
He's gonna be fine. He knows that Sonic Wave was used, burns mana on the Tidehunter on the bottom lane, and he's good to go. Dark Willow. Maxing the Shadow Realm in this situation as a Dark Willow just feels bad. You know,
not a fan?
Not a fan. You want to be able to have that Bramble Maze, longer duration latch, especially against the AM, even Elder Titan ET going into drums. Something that isn't really too popular. We've seen one on the mid lane in the previous game, built by Invoker. And I believe it's mostly like crit. During the last major, he was always buying it on a Tusk. Tidehunter bottom, no mana. Has Soul Ring if he wants to pop it. Possibly an Anchor Smash, but...
He's going to die anyway, isn't he? RTW has the chase down. RR dead to GH's stomp. Invoker gives that last little hit to ILTW. And Nigma 10-2 with a 3k lead, really starting to run away with things here.
You can see Mind Control. He's out of tips, but every single time that they do something good, he goes with the well play.
Oh, okay. He's replaced it then.
I'm finding a pattern here, Gary.
Oh, it's a very good one. Very good one. But yeah, think about the drums. You know, in the previous game and even in this one, marching to the beat of your own drum. You know, they're playing fast. They're buying fast items, give them that speed to just run at their opponents. And I think it was an idea that Cap brought up. This move in particular when you are running at a Warlock, similar to what he was explaining about the Ancient Apparition, was that you don't get the chance to set up for a proper 5v5 team fight, which is what XctN are built around. You're picking
This is what they want to do. While you have Nigma's draft, they don't really care too much about their cooldowns. Finger is okay, but if can reset, get 2-3 stuns in a team fight, that's also perfectly fine. Arena, like even without Arena, they can take these fights. Spirit Vessel about to be completed on Invoker, actually flying on the Courier.
Ooh. But it really does feel that way, like XctN, very much like a jigsaw puzzle. You need all of the pieces there to make the picture, the grand picture of the plan, the directive of their draft.
The problem is the factory forgot to send them that one piece.
And then Nigma's like a set of Lego. Sure, you might not be able to build the pirate ship or whatever you want, but you can turn it into something, your imagination.
Yeah,
you put these pieces together and do what you want.
Is stepping barefoot on Lego.
Oh. And Nigma, the one that put the pieces on the floor.
Yeah, they're like all around, we forgot to pick them up. Yeah, sure.
It was accident, we promise. They do have this Orchid on the Queen of Pain, though. Definitely a significant moment for XctN to try and launchpad themselves towards some form of victory. Whether it's a team fight win, an individual pick-off, they need something to be done reasonably soon. But Nigma are doing such a great job hiding off the map right now. They know this timing is coming. AM is the only one showing out on the map down in the bottom lane.
Warlock is still level 5.
Look
you
at that.
can't even teamfight when he doesn't have a rock.
Oh, he doesn't have rock yet. It's 14 minutes in. And Miracle, he was spotted under that sentry, but in comes the RTW anti-mage. Parlos barely blinking back. Spirit Vessel low, ticking him down. The damage is enough. He's killed off. Sunstrike's coming, doesn't find the touch onto him.
It is not necessary. Now RR needs to run away.
But that's your Queen of Pain we were just explaining. This Quap needs to get something done, dies. And AM was 8,000.
He got something done.
I'm sorry, Lacoste. You are correct. Technically correct. The best kind, of course. I can't believe, honestly. 8,500 net worth on this AM. 14.5 minutes in. He is going to be hitting some sick timings this match.
This is Power Treads, Battle Fury, full Magic Wand, and Yasha. This might be one of the most farm anti-mages I've seen in a while.
I think he might be hitting records. Like when we get to that 20-minute mark, he might be hitting records, honestly. We'll be looking at like 15k net worth anti-mage 20 minutes in. It's going to be that insane, especially with Ancient stacks and with his team smoking up in front of him. GH Miracle Kuro, the gank squad extraordinaire coming out into this dire jungle.
Setting up some vision. They want Morphling. They understand if Morphling's not having a game, and so far he isn't. He's sitting at the mid net worth. As Yasha completed, Yowie understands something's cooking, something's going on, goes all the way around and farms a big camp close to tier 2 tower.
Goes from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And the pings do come out, smoke wears off. Dire Observer, what I believe, spotted a little bit of that maneuver from Nigma. And 5 heroes converging from XctN in towards the Invoker. A little combo there with the Fatal Bonds and that Golem dropped in. BDC down to Miracle and the Sonic Wave pushing him to high ground. Invoker gonna die. Finally down to Yowie. Morphling with that Adaptive Strike gets a sweet pick off, and Kuro's been left stranded here. So 2 for the price of 1. It's a good stun. But
No
Kuro has
TP on him. Buy time. Courier will scout him out.
Go on.
Get it. He needs 3 hits. Not gonna happen. Good usage. Like first rock, 15 minutes in, they got a big kill on Invoker. They kill a Lion on top of it. Problem is, ILTW anti-mage, not contested. Not a single death on him. This hero actually fits the whole style of the tournament.
Yeah.
Anti-mage, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little pick up there. I mean, I think
I don't know if anyone said it, but it just came through my mind. I'm a bit slow sometimes. Apologies.
He's not got the proper set on, but looks a little bit like Cap with some of the cosmetics. That's a good arena. Nico and the Golem trapped inside of it.
A bit of an overkill. They even bring Miracle to the mid lane.
Dead is dead. ILTW, what are we at? 10k now, 17 minutes in. Blink Dagger up for mind control. So it's not just the AM. Also the Mars and the Invoker picking up these pieces that give them such tremendous team fight. And the ability to reset as well, I think that's another point we should touch on here. You know, the arena, the stomp, the stuns they've got, Tornado, another good example.
EMP, a lot of stuff that they can just throw while XctN, they need to go in, they need to get stuff done. Rock, Ravage, 1-2 quick kills, and then go for more.
Yeah, once they commit, they commit. And BDZ,
Done, actually,
is he
gonna
dead?
die.
To the Spirit Vessel.
Tornado does not hit, doesn't even need it.
Another one for Miracle. Another notch. And Tidehunter still hasn't been able to get a good Ravage out, or any Ravage really. Shows himself in that mid lane. Immediate stomp.
Can they burn his mana?
Spear back.
Into drain, keep draining.
Under the
No
Spirit.
mana.
He's tanky, this fella, though. You can't really bring him down unless you want to expend some big ultis and cooldowns, which they don't really have too many left of. And this is all space creation. Defend their mid-tier one as Team Nigma, and that's exactly the man we should be looking at. ILTW continuing to race ahead and become the unstoppable force that Anti-Mage can be, as Yahweh, he picks up Kuroki. Lion stepped out a little bit too far. Tornado misses out. And Mind Control spears back the Tide, but still chasing forward. Turning into the Mars and spearing him back. Yahweh going to find the kill on Mind Control there.
2 good kills. Double damage also spawned. Yowie will pick it up. Yowie, he is recovering nicely. As SNY done, plus a double damage, some status resistance, always going to be much better than building up Manta style against the Lion, against the ET Stomp, Cold Snap as well.
And this is where XctN are meant to be really strong, right? Ravage ready, Sonic Wave coming up with enough mana for Palos in a second. Golem is at the ready too. And the Invokers deny that tower right under their noses.
Free gold. You get a gold for denying a tower.
Easy money.
Not a lot of money, decent amount of money, nothing too spectacular, but I like that it's added to the game. You know, gives you a bit of something for trying.
Yeah, a little bit of something. Feels nice.
Maybe a mango on top of it would feel also very good.
Just a little cherry on top, mango on top. Tier 2 items starting to be picked up. A little bit delayed there. Bullwhip comes out for the Morphling. Nico grabs his Blink Dagger, so that's Phase, Hood, Blink. And Miracle. Another move into mid, but that's a Golem Terrorize. Feared up and into the Bramble Maze. Under a Sentry Ward, Miracle. Do they have the finishing touches though? Yoe's completely out of mana. GH and Mind Control have soloed down Palos, and now Yoe's on the run. RTW's decided to join in this battle, and he is at that 14,000 net worth point 20 minutes in. Not quite the 15k, but definitely
They're gonna
up
go
there.
inside a pit. He's just staying 5,000 gold ahead of the enemy carry. I'm talking about the Morphling, even though he played the mid lane without Warlock Golem. They're not gonna take the fight. Ravage, finally, you know, might be used. We have a Blink Dagger available on Tidehunter.
It's been a long time coming.
He's just building up the damage. You know, the longer you hold it, the more damage it does.
Stacking the tentacles. Lacoste, we need another warning for your sarcasm meter. Yoe stunning out the Lion. Does claim. Oh, good spear. Finger of Death back.
Not enough.
Yoe
not
dropping.
Enough
They get the Morphling. Couldn't even kill Kuroki. And RTW with the Aegis now, just running straight towards XctN. Low whip towards him, moves the speed forward. Onto BDZ. Got the Bedlam off, but it's a dying move. The last breaths here of XctN. The spear onto Aurora. Yeah, I don't know, but it's caught up against the tower. Now an arena from Mind Control as well. It's all falling apart for XctN. Nigma have their number, a double for Miracle, and this one looks like it might be over already.
Roshan, Nigma controls the team fight. The Stomp or Lion Stun into Mana Drain, into EMP. Tidehunter tries to get some mana, uses a Magic Wand plus a Soul Ring. Not enough. Skip the Mad School. That one class, you know, when they were talking about the Soul Ring, how much he needs for it. Can't get it off. Like, even if he gets it off, it's just a complete waste. Team fight already over.
Yeah. And now this entire map, I think Effie brought up that point about long cooldowns. Once you have expended them, you can get choked out very quickly. The map becomes small. You can't have anyone showing on the lanes because you don't have the ability to fight as a pairing or as a trio. You need everyone together as a 5-man unit. And XctN don't have that right now. Their arsenal is depleted.
Now you have all these small buffs that you can throw onto Anti-Mage.
Oh, they missed that spear. They won't miss the stun from Kuro, though. And RR, an absolute freebie for them.
So you have Solar Crest, which is not a small buff. Then you have ET popping the drums, possibly using the Bullwhip on top of it, giving Anti-Mage almost max movement speed in the team fights.
Look at RTW. Dragon Scale onto the tier 3. Chips away.
Well, Scotty, I just stopped paying attention after he got like 14-minute Battle Fury, Yasha, and yeah, it was a 17-minute Manta style on top of it.
And
Not a single death.
I was going to ask, what's his score right now? It's like 4-0 something? Or?
Yeah, 4-0-4 at the moment.
Death's not found?
Nope. Error.
Beautiful stuff from RTW.
That was a nice one, Gary. I hope chat appreciates it.
Thank you, thank you. Definitely never used that one before. And now, outer towers. Final one remaining is the bottom. But there is a wave pushed pretty hard out across the Radiant side. And XctN know that their only option right now is to bunker down in their base, hold out for dear hope that they can catch Nigma unawares with some kind of reactive play or a smoke to move out and get a proper team fight going.
Maybe that's the turning point. You know, just gotta stay positive, find something good that could potentially happen. Morphling building into Aghanim Scepter, turning into Dark Willow.
Oh yeah.
We've seen so many times Morphling winning off by getting the Aghanim Scepter, let's say having Earthshaker in the team. Now with the Dark Willow.
Look at RTW, man.
He doesn't care, like they cannot kill him.
Not a solitary damn given by this man. And RR clipped by that tornado, cold snap and that Earth Splitter. While Anti-Mage moving forward, but they blink away. Nico and Yoe retreating from Nigma's grasps. I mean, just what, a minute and a half left, so they can go high ground here. Get back onto the tier 3. Not much you can do to RTW. A Yule's, a Cursed Crown. You'll irritate him, you'll be a nuisance. But there is no stopping this man. There's counter spell spamming at this point.
Back. He's just sitting there.
He's got
36 armor with the Solar Crest. How much is that? It's 64% physical resistance.
That's quite a lot, Lacoste. And he's jumping forward to BDZ. He might be able to get the solo kill. In comes Mind Control, secures it for him, forces the buyback. The Sonic Wave there does claim the Aegis.
Ravage, will he pop it?
He will. They want to focus the AM. Nice terrorize after the Ravage, the chain stuns. Do they have them? The Curse Crown's coming, but Manta gets out of it. Blinks away, and now Nigma can turn and face XctN. Burst through every hero they've got. Morphling gone for a minute. Tide's done. No buybacks and no spells to be cast, even if they had them. This is it. Nigma will take them out. 2-0 as GG is called.
They call it. That was the first Ravage of the game, right, Gary?
Pretty much.
I believe so, yeah. They try to go for a play. You know, the execution was not bad. The Ravage into Terrorize, into Stun. In the end, he dispels it. A bit too many items, too tanky. In the end, Team Nigma came very well prepared for this series.
Well deserved as well. Nice to see them all cheerful and enjoying their victory there. XctN. It's been a great showing from them, no doubt about it. You know, up against some of these monumental teams. You know, JazkieGaming up against Team Secret, against Nigma, really showing that they can play up against them at this highest of levels.
Yeah, this team kind of really grew on me throughout the second season. Just a bunch of fine lads individually, very skilled. Team as a whole feels really good. No matter what happens in this tournament, I just want to see full squad keep grinding together because they have a lot of stuff going on for them. Not sure what the other score is in the other series, so don't